Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Sports Fellas.
Here we go.
I'm excited. We are here. The NFL playoffs has started. All right. I can't wait. So we got in the house.
Hey, it's your Buckeye believing Rock Chalk Jayhawk and Wichita State shocking Who Day hopeful Chris with a K.
I was not ready for that. Okay.
Can't beat that. It's your boy Tristan.
And it's your host, Carlos. I'm still working on it, but man, that was amazing. That was amazing, Chris.
That's my sports one.
I love it. Keep it. I love it. I love it. Any shout outs really quick before we go? We get started, actually. Not go, but get started.
Just a shout out to my Cincinnati faithful out there. We're back in the playoffs. You know, it's been
How long
a few
has
years.
Been?
Since we've been in 6 years, since we've won. We can get into that once we get to the games.
All right. Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, and shout out to Georgia. You know, beating Alabama. Sorry, Carlos. It happens, man.
See, Tristan, every week, week in, week out, you do something. You just like, it's like I got this paper cut, and you just tend to put like salt, just kind of that, put salt in the wound. You tend to do that a lot. I don't even know why I have you on the show, man. You're just so mean. You're cold as ice. But hey,
somebody's gotta be.
It is what it is. Yes, we'll give a shout out to the state of Georgia and the University of Georgia. Congratulations on winning the national championship against my team, Alabama. You guys haven't won since 1980, so it's been a while. But hey, you guys played with heart. I got to hand it to you. Well played, and you deserved it. So congratulations. Also, let's give a shout out to all the teams that made the playoffs. That's amazing, especially here on the show. Chris's team is in. Go Bengals.
Yes.
Tristan's team, the Chiefs, they're in. Eric's team, the Steelers, is in. And then the rest of us will just kind of fade out. Oh, Don. Don't forget Don. Don's the Raiders.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Raiders fans. So let's get the show on the road, you guys. So we are here. It's finally here. The NFL playoffs is here. And we're going to start it off with an AFC East rivalry. We have the New England Patriots visiting the Buffalo Bills, who are the AFC East champions. So a little side note here. So we know right now that the Bills at home during playoffs, they're 2-0 under head coach Sean McDermott, but they suck on the road. They're 0-3 on the road. Now, history here is Bill Belichick is 3-7 as a head coach in the postseason, but against teams that have beaten him, he has lost 5 straight. So I'm going to start this off with you, Chris. What are we going to be looking at in this playoff game?
Well, I mean, I think you've got to really look at the run game, make sure that and the run defense of the Bills, because I don't think that Belichick's going to try to put this game. It's probably going to be a little chilly up there, that north in the mid-January, coming off the lake. You're going to have some cold, probably like it was last time they played there. Not too well. No, it's pretty warm there. I think when they played there at the end of December, but it's going to be. I think he's not going to try to put too much on Mac Jones. And really try to run it down their throat, kind of like they did in that first meeting they had.
I see it being. I'm leaning more towards Buffalo on this one. And like he said, I feel like it's Mac Jones' first playoff game. He's gonna maybe take it easy on him and focus on that run game because they do have a really great run game. And then of course the Buffalo Bills, their run game's there. It's not the best, so I see Josh Allen throwing the ball, airing it out, and I'm going with the Bills on this one. I feel like it's going to be a close game, but it's not that first game that they played in, like, negative degree weather, super chilly, windy,
Right.
And so I feel like they'll have a good chance to air it out, and it's going to be a good, close game.
This is what I'm seeing right now. This is going to be a tempo game, and I'm going to give credit for Chris for saying this. Josh Allen is already familiar with the defense of New England, what they're going to bring to the table. Yes, their run game isn't really that solid, but Mike Singletary Devin Singletary has stepped up. And also, is what's his name? Moss, is he still?
I'm not sure about his
Okay,
status.
well, so let's see on the wide receiver core. So you have your slot receiver in Cole Beasley. You got Stephon Diggs as the primary.
Yep.
Now, is Emmanuel Sanders still inactive? Oh, did anybody know about that? Is he still inactive?
I believe he's playing.
Okay, so what we want to watch for is once Buffalo has a rhythm going, the question's got to be how they're going to keep keep the momentum going, especially because right now Josh Allen has all the confidence in the world. He's already been there. He's already is familiar with New England, and then he's already been in the playoffs. Because remember, last year he went to the AFC Championship.
Sure.
So you know very well this could be their momentum to finally say, "Hey, we're going in confidently." Because, like I said, they're already a team that's already adapted to the cold, and so my prediction is going to be Buffalo's going to win. It's going to be a convincing game, not a blowout, not close. I give it a touchdown. It's going to be by a touchdown. Chris?
Oh, I'd say it's probably going to be a field goal. I think it's going to be within a field goal.
Yeah, I think either within a field goal or a touchdown. Maybe not convincingly by like two scores, but I think it'll be pretty close.
All right. So
two good defenses, two good teams.
Okay, so we're all going for Buffalo, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on. We got the Philadelphia Eagles making it in, squeaking in, going to visit the Super Bowl champions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right, I'm going to start this off with you, Tristan. So this is a pretty interesting affair. We know that Tampa Bay has already beaten Philly this year already, and Philly found their stride going in with some capital wins, also some pretty tough losses. But we see that they struggled against Dallas, especially the way that they were just torched in the air, and this is more Tom Brady's type of game. But we know that there's some players that are coming back. So tell me, what do you think that Tampa Bay is going to do if you're choosing Tampa Bay, what are they going to do to beat Philly?
I feel like they're going to start off, throwing it with Brady. He's going to get them yards, and I feel like eventually they got Leonard Fournette get back. I think they got like 3 running backs back off of IR, so that's great. So that really helps them, and those are great receiving backs as well as running backs. So I feel like they'll throw it, get the score up by like 2 touchdowns, and then start chewing that clock early on in the game. Because honestly, I don't see the Eagles stopping that dominant offense of Tampa, man. They're just elite. So
yeah, and I think Leonard Fournette is going to be back.
Yeah.
I know he started practicing, so I think there's going to be a lot of lean on him, and especially with the receiving core is a little hit. There's not much left there. I think with Godwin's on IR, right? And
and then of course Brown's out. Officially now. Yeah.
And so I don't see. I mean, Brady's not a big fan of new receivers. He likes his trusted hands. So Gronk, if the Eagles can put a lock on Gronk, which they probably can't. I mean, not that anyone really can stop him. He's a beast. So yeah, I think you're right. I think it's going to be they're going to get up by a touchdown or 2 and then just turn it out. And I think that the Eagles they'll make a game of it. I mean, it's not. I don't know that it'll be more than two score. Like it might be a 10 or 14 point win for the Bucs. I don't think it's going to be like a blowout.
Yeah.
Like you said, I think they'll just start running that ball at the end.
And that's where Philadelphia is efficient at. They are first in rushing, and they found their kind of golden key play by rushing the ball. But on the other hand, you're going against the 13th in defense. So we notice in a lot of these Tampa games that they do give up quite a bit in the air, and sometimes they miss some cues on the run game. But overall, you're going against a team that's already got experience. And they're at home. And the last affair, the score was 28-22. And it was still close, but I think Tampa Bay is going to prove again why they are the Super Bowl champions. This is going to be one of those games they're just going to have to get it out of the way. They've been through this routine already. So I'm taking Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Tampa Bay.
All right, so we've got Tampa Bay on lock. All right, next up we have the Pittsburgh Steelers visiting the Kansas City Chiefs Sunday night. So Dristan here, this last affair, the Chiefs just blew Pittsburgh out of the waters. I mean, they were ready to go home. They were waiting for their flight ticket to say, "Hey, I'm ready to go. Well, let's go pack up. I wanted to go back to Pittsburgh." But Pittsburgh, hey, they made it back in the playoffs. They are back, but now that they go to Kansas City again. So what are we going to be seeing in this game?
I see the Steelers running the ball, really relying on Najee Harris, because I feel like our pass defense has been pretty good. We really falter at that, stopping the run. So I feel like them relying on Najee Harris even in the pass game when they do choose to pass it. So I see that happening. And then, but unfortunately, I don't see them beating the Chiefs. I feel like it's going to be the same old song. We're beating them. It's going to be a convincing win, and simply because our offense is much better than their defense. I feel like they don't really have any great weapons besides T.J. Watt to stop us, and unless T.J. Watt can get like 4 sacks this game, which I guess is a possibility, but I don't really see it happening. I don't think they're going to really produce on defense, and even on offense, they don't have a great offense. So,
yeah, Ben's at that stage like the old country song. He's not good all the time, but he's good at least once.
Yeah.
He's got a good throw. You can't really keep him down except for those checkdowns that he likes to hit Najee Harris on. And he's been doing that a lot more this year than he did before. And he's still, he'll still stand in the pocket. He'll still throw. He can't quite move and shrug guys off like he used to do 5-10 years ago. He used to be able to just shrug 2-3 guys off and still put it downfield, and that's what he has problems doing. But he can still get some downfield. He also throws the lame duck though.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and I think weather's going to be an issue. As just being an older guy myself, the older you get, and especially with his injury history, man, all that scar tissue really starts to tighten up. And it's a night game, you said, right? And in Kansas City. And I think it's supposed to get chilly this weekend, being that we're here in Kansas. I know I've been watching the weather, so it's nice today, but I think it's supposed to be chilly this weekend. So I think that's going to affect his arm strength a little bit and his movement. And I think we're going to see one of the like unoiled up 10-man performance out there. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
All right. So little side notes here. So I did not know this, but Patrick Mahomes is 6-0 in the postseason. He's only 0-2 in the playoffs against who? Tom Brady. On the flip side, Ben Roethlisberger is 3-4 in the wild card round. So he actually tied with Peyton Manning and Andy Dalton for the most losses in NFL history in playoffs. So that's not a good record to go.
Yeah.
And they're going to go again. They're going into Arrowhead. And they also have demonstrated that they only allowed 10 points or fewer in 5 straight home games. That's not bad, Tristan.
Yep.
That goes to show the sea of red is dangerous. And, again, this is going to be a second affair. Chiefs are going to go handle business. Just the simple fact that they're a high-octane offense, and they're just going to just give Pittsburgh a hard time.
Yeah, I want to pull a little Eric here and stand up for the Steelers a bit. They do have T.J. Watt, and the KC O-line is a little banged up. Didn't they lose Brown, or is he back? I know Tooney got back, but I thought
think
Brown was out.
He may still be out. I'm not quite sure.
So they're a little banged up, and T.J. Watt's a force. Now, I think that Andy Reid knows that and can scheme around that, and will give him the help that a lot of coaches are sometimes too proud to do. When you have a great player, you gotta give your guys a little help sometimes. And so I think with that, and just Patrick Mahomes being Patrick Mahomes, there's definitely that. Kansas City has a much higher percentage, I think. But you can't count the Steelers out. You got the miracle. They pull miracles out their butt on a regular basis, man. I see it happen yearly. Playing them twice a year, you're just like, what? They were down, we had them out, and then boom, they make it happen. And ask Taylor, our local Ravens fan here, he knows it too. You can't ever count the Steelers down until you've mud stomped their
until
head.
the clocks go 0-0.
Yeah, but I hope that the Chiefs win and could put the Steelers out. I don't if the Bengals win their playoff, I don't want to have to deal with the Steelers.
Now, let's say, and we'll get to the Bengals in a second. So we've had this discussion before, Tristan. For the Chief fans, especially you, Tristan, once you take care of Pittsburgh, if that is the case, what team would you like to play against?
Would I like to play against? Good question. Maybe, let's see. They're all tough. But if I'm going to pick one, man, I think I'd have to pick the winners between the Raiders and Bengals. I would love to give the Bengals a rematch because that was a very close game.
And
yeah.
it'd be at Arrowhead that
Yep.
this time.
And you know, we've played the Raiders twice this year. We didn't shut them out, but it was like a blowout both times. Yeah, so I'd love to play the Raiders again. You know, I feel like if we play the Raiders, you know, easy win. If we play the Bengals, it'd be an intense, close game, very entertaining to watch.
So who would you not want to play against? I still think you wouldn't want to play Buffalo.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to play Buffalo until the championship, just because, you know, Buffalo, they're a menace in the playoffs. They are a good team.
What about the Titans? Isn't Henry back, I believe?
Ooh, you know, I forgot about the Titans since they're on a bye this week.
Well, that will be on the next show.
Yeah.
The next show we'll have the Titans in. So, all right, moving along here, we have next up the Las Vegas Raiders going to Chris's town. Welcome to the jungle, Cincinnati Bengals.
Stuff to say about this.
All right, so we got a lot to talk about this. So the Raiders, what a great game that Sunday night. It kept me up all night watching the game.
Oh, yeah,
to
bro.
watch them get in the trenches to take out Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers. This is one of the things that I thought the Chargers was going to win. For the simple fact they were
Herbert played great. I mean,
was
he
killing
really
it.
played
They were
quite
marching
well.
it. They were marching it down the field. They were making key stops, but yet there was no quit. And one of the things that I have to admit I like a lot about Derek Carr, once he has pocket presence and he's doing well and his line is protecting him, the guy can get the ball out. You just see him just this finesse, just throwing the ball out. And I mean, it would have been nice if what's his name, Ruggs would have been in there. That would have helped. I mean, Waller you can tell he was missing Waller.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Renfro, that guy's amazing.
Come on, man.
I got him. I mean, he's not a Cooper Kupp, but he's there. I give him the class. He's in that class.
I felt like he pretty much won that game against the Colts. I mean, he had that big, was it punt return that had it, and 2 weeks ago, the Colts game.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had the big catch for the touchdown right there near the end to kind of seal it for him. So, yeah.
Indeed. So on that game, we'll go ahead. I'm going to start this off with you, Driston, because I know Chris is going to go off with the Bengals here. Let's just say, hypothetically, you do want to see because you said strategically you would rather have the Raiders win it.
It'd be
what does the Raiders need
quote
to do?
unquote easier road.
What does the Raiders need to do to defeat Cincinnati at Cincinnati?
Defeat Cincinnati at Cincinnati. Capitalize on their mistakes. Because I feel like Cincinnati has such a great offense, it's hard to stop. And if you get a turnover or, you know, force them to punt, you need to capitalize on that and score points off of it, whether that be a field goal or a touchdown. Because all they need to do is, man up on defense. Not man up, play zone, because Jamar Chase is ridiculous. So manning him, I think we saw during the Chiefs game, playing man coverage against Jamar Chase you're asking for trouble. So they need to maybe double team Jamar Chase, focus on getting that elite wide receiver out of the picture, and I feel like Joe Burrow would have a more difficult time getting the ball out. You know, he still has two great wideouts, so I feel like this more relies on the Raiders' defense, because I also think that the Raiders' offense will be able to keep it a close game and not make it like a complete shutout. But, yeah, the Raiders need to focus on that defense and learn how to lock down Jamar Chase, and I feel like they stand a chance.
Here's one of the things real quick, Chris. This is the thing that I'm concerned a little bit about. If I was the Raiders, I would say, hey, you know what? Joe Mixon likes to fumble the ball. If they can get Crosby in that front defensive line to put pressure, and if they're going to be committing to the run, like I said, on the air, Chris can probably agree with me. On the air, I just don't think the Raiders have the personnel, because Chase is phenomenal, and then especially if Burrow decides to use other weapons.
Oh yeah, same with T.
That
Higgins,
they would, and then CJ, right, the tight end. What's your tight end's name, Chris?
CJ Uzomah.
Yeah, Uzomah. If they utilize in the air, I think the Raiders will struggle. They've already shown this year when they play against teams that are able to throw out the ball, they struggle.
Yep.
But if they can capitalize on the run and maybe perhaps close down Mixon, they can use other personnel to try to shut everyone else down. Now, Chris, go ahead, state your facts why the Bengals would win, and if you were concerned of the Raiders, what would it be?
Well, I'm gonna bring a little history first.
Go for it.
Let's
You
get a
have
little
the floor. You
education
have the
here
floor,
on-
Chris. You have the floor.
31 years ago was the last time the Bengals won a playoff game. That was against the Houston Oilers. Yes, they were not the Texans yet, nor were they in Tennessee. They were the Houston Oilers. That next game, they played who else but the Raiders. And they lost 20-10 to the Raiders in what is known as the Bo Jackson game. The curse of the Bo happened on that game, which was 31 years ago, to the Raiders. That was the first of, and they haven't won since they hurt Bo because they lost that game too. So they won the week before, and this was Boomer Esiason, and this was the no huddle. I mean, these guys were slinging it back in the early.
Is that the one where
80s.
Chris Collinsworth was on that team?
He would be getting. He was near the end. He might have been near the end or just after he had retired. He was only in.
Did
for
he
8 or 9
attend
years.
to? Was he in both Super Bowls or just one?
He was in both.
Okay.
He was a rookie in the first one, and then a veteran in the second one. So, but yeah, so that's a little history for you that not a lot of people know outside of Bengaldom, because we are obsessed with the curse of Bo because we have not won. So perhaps this is the chance to overcome. And sorry, Bo Jackson, we're trying to tackle you, man. Everyone thought it was a minor hip injury, turned out to end his football career. So sorry about that, guys. So now on to this game. If Crosby's playing, that's scary, man. He's a beast. He just eats them up. But he reminds me of what's his name? Jared Allen used to play for the Vikings
And
who
the
was
Chiefs.
and he played for the Chiefs for a little while.
And he was with the Super Bowl team, the Panthers.
Yeah, he bounced around, but he was a beast of a pass rusher. But sometimes he could get just too focused on the pass rush, and they'd be able to bounce him outside and just hit those run lanes right inside him because he was going deep for the rush, on the pass rush. And so I think if they can take a little bit of advantage of the aggressive pass rush, because you're going to assume they're going to be somewhat aggressive, but also the last best running game that Joe Mixon had, I mean, he ran for a lot of yards against like 128, 130 yards against the Raiders when they met earlier this year. And that was in Las Vegas, which was a dome, of course, or, kind of semi-dome, I guess.
Yeah.
And this is going to be outside. I think it's going to be a little bit nastier weather than what they would have had in the dome in Vegas. There's going to be a little bit more moisture, a little bit colder, I believe. So I think they're going to run again. And I don't know, Tristan, you're familiar with, your Chiefs playing them a couple times. How's that run defense?
How's that run defense? It's not bad, but it's not the best either.
Right.
It's just mediocre. I feel like Joe Mixon would be able to put up
get
yards
some
on
stuff.
them. Yeah.
So and if they make some stuff changes to double up Jamar, which a lot of teams started doing there in the middle of the year, we lost a couple games, I think, because they took a little bit longer to adjust. The Bengals took a little bit longer to adjust to the doubling of Jamar, and probably Burrow took a little bit longer to adjust and moved on then to T. Higgins, and then he blew up for a couple 200-yard games.
Yeah.
And he also, when they started doubling him up, they started hitting Tyler Boyd for a couple 100-yard, 150-yard games. So there's a lot of weapons, and I think that Joe Burrow's really starting to see how to utilize those. So, I mean, I've got the Bengals winning this one and going on. So I really hope. I got my fingers crossed. It's been a long time, guys. It's been a long time. It's knocking on some wood. What other superstitions can we get? Salt, throw some salt over the shoulder. I don't know.
Well, we're going to do a little bit of history, like you said yourself. So, did you know that the Bengals are 1-8 all time in the wild card round? They have lost 7 straight wild card games. The only team that's done worse is the Detroit Lions. They're 0-9.
That's because the wild card didn't exist when the Bengals were winning playoff games. That's how long it's been.
Now, on the Raiders side, we have the Raiders. The Raiders are 4-0 in games when Derek Carr has thrown when he has a passer rating of 100% or more. If he's below that, he is 6-7. So, yes, like we've mentioned before, Derek Carr likes to throw the ball.
Yes.
Now, both balancing this game out in the way that they beat the Chargers, the Bengals, when they beat the Chiefs, it took everything. I'm not going to sit there and say that, they dominated Kansas City. No, not at all. I mean, Joe Burrow's he's been sacked so much this season, and the Chiefs did sack him quite a bit. For this kind of game, kind of style, I feel the Bengals will win because they've just got a little bit more weaponry than the Raiders will. But going forward, this is the time now they need to start making their adjustments right. Because right now, after this game, they're on the road. Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
They're on the road.
I mean, that sounds bad, but this year they've actually played better overall on the road than they have at home. I think they're only 4-3 maybe at home, or 5-6, or I don't know, whatever the math works out. I think they've only got one more win at home than they have losses. So they're not a whole. They're just over 500% at home, whereas I think on the road they're more like 750 or so.
All right.
So-
Well, we better see that pesky
So
little
hey,
tiger.
I sure hope we can. I mean, we've been here before, so it has. We almost won. The last one was so close as the Jeremy Hill fumble onto the Steelers. We were winning, just needed a first down. Got the first down. All we needed to do is take knees. But after he got the first down, blah blah blah, there goes the game. And Ben Roethlisberger has a minute and a half and some referees. Anyway, that's
Conspiracy, a little
just
conspiracy theories.
nightmare fuel.
I still remember that game when was it who was the one that Burfict knocked the lights out and then Juju
It was
got him.
Brown.
Yes, Antonio. Boy, he knocked it. That's probably why he's messed up now, Antonio Brown. Hey, Antonio.
He took some big hits
back.
from Burfict.
If you do listen to the show, which I'm pretty sure you do listen to the show. I'm
Give
not
him a
being
little
conceited.
hashtag on
Here's the thing. Here's the
comments.
thing, Antonio. We got it figured out. We got it. So if you come holler at us, come Wichita, Kansas. Come to Wichita, Kansas. Come to the Eisenhower. Is it Eisenhower Airport? We'll pick you up. We'll talk to you a little bit. Now we can figure out why you're doing the things that you're doing. I got it figured out because you got knocked out, and we need you to kind of screw some screws back in your head, right? So, but anyway, so we got the Bengals.
Yep.
All right. So far, we've not come to no disagreement yet.
I think we're getting close here.
We're getting close. Next up, we have the Monday night game. We have an NFC West showdown of the Arizona Cardinals visiting the SoFi of Los Angeles Rams. The Rams took the division away from the Cardinals, and the Cardinals have been struggling quite a bit. I mean, they had a key win beating Dallas, and the Rams, of course, was just perfect. Keep it going. But then they struggled against the 49ers at the end of the game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to start this off with you, Dristan. They're familiar. This is the third time's a charm here. Arizona still does not have D-Hop, but Colin Murray's still a good quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you going to take and why?
I'm taking the Rams. I'm taking the Rams because, I think they got a much better defense than the Cardinals, and that defense will be able to stop Kyler Murray and whichever running back they have in that game. And they also have that, high-octane offense. Their entire offense has been playing good. There's no stopping Cooper Kupp, and Odell's been just scoring touchdowns almost every single game. He has at least a touchdown. So, they have a great offense, and their defense is too good as well. And I feel like missing D-Hop, that really hurts them because they miss that deep threat, that person you can just throw the ball to and just know it's caught. Just a 50-50 ball, it's going to D-Hop.
And that's usually when he's doubled up.
Yeah.
So he's pulling the extra defender and catching it, but also opening the field up for a little bit for everyone else too. So
Yeah, and it's just with the Cardinals struggling because they barely came back to beat Dallas in that one game. So they have been struggling a lot more towards the end of the season, and it's to me it's hard to give the win to the Cardinals with how they've been playing in that second half compared to how the Rams have been playing. I mean, the Rams had that, luckily they came back against Baltimore. But, yeah, I just think the Rams are a much better team. I still have high hopes for them making it to the Super Bowl. I definitely think the Rams are going to the NFC Championship, so we'll just see if they can go to the Super Bowl because, man, Matthew Stafford's really come around and changed that team for the better, and I love to see it, man.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I think it's a tough one. The Rams, my pick is the Rams, though, because – that defense is really – they made some of those midseason changes, got the Von Miller. Yeah. And I think that that it's really started to gel up together here in the last few weeks, and they're playing really strong. And Matt Stafford is playing very well. He's still, I don't know if he's just trying to shake off that old Detroit run, that oil, the Detroit Motor City oil, try to get rid of that stuff, because it's almost like sometimes he sees flashbacks of Lions uniforms and oh no, interception, oh no, 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Here we go. Because I think it felt like he kind of anytime the game's kind of, didn't they just win a game? Was it last week or the week before when he threw like 2 or 3 interceptions and it was like, yeah, thankfully we won it, or yeah, it was
they
just
won
a
that
week
game.
or two.
I'm just trying to remember that horrible game he had against Tennessee. That I don't know why. When you're telling me that, reminds me of that Sunday night game. I thought, oh, the Rams got it. They're going to take care of Tennessee, and no, that Tennessee defense gave him such a hard time.
Well, and that's just good game planning, but he's still got, and I thought he definitely made that team better. He's better than Goff was.
Oh yeah.
But there's still times where he can get a little rattled. And so hopefully he can pull through that. Arizona, without Hopkins, it's really kind of it seems to have limited their offense. And you wouldn't think so. They still have A.J. Green and a couple other good players. Murray, maybe he sitting out, kind of got a little out of sync, out of sorts. And that defense, I think it's starting to pick back up now that Watt's back in there and he's starting to get a little more action. But I think it's going to be a little tough for them to get there. Not that they can't. I mean, this is playoff football. Any Sunday, any given time, anyone can win. But this is going to be a really tough one for the away team.
And duly noted on that. You see, they got James Conner on the run game, which is awesome, and Emmons as well. They're not super elite, but they're there. They'll get the job done. And then especially with. Is Zach Ertz still playing? I believe so. Zach Ertz. Yeah. So
he came in just lighting it up.
Right, and he's got the weapons. It's just that when you put the Arizona defense against Odell Beckham and then Cooper Kupp, and then
Higbee had
Tyler Higbee's not bad as well.
He had 2 touchdowns in the first quarter last week, I think.
So there, and then now Sonny Michel is still the starting running back, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't know if Darrell Henderson's still, trying to recover from that injury or if it's messing with him. I'm not sure, but
it's just that right now on the defense side, and then we were just discussing that they just re-signed Jalen Ramsey was giving everybody hints, and we just found out today that Eric Weddle just got out of retirement. And then they signed on some more players from the practice squad. I feel the Rams are as more of a menace. They're more of a menace. And I know for a fact Tampa Bay don't want to play them. The 49ers, they might want to because they're familiar with them. But there's teams that might not want to play the Rams.
Didn't Green Bay beat the Rams earlier this season?
They already have.
Yeah. It was a close game, though, and it was in Green Bay.
They'll have to go back to Green Bay.
Well, and I don't know, maybe there's, again, a little psychosis there from Matt Stafford's time in Detroit where he's like, oh, no, not Green Bay again. Not Green Bay again.
You making this guy having flashbacks. Jacob's ladder kind of thing. Saying, no. All right, so you are taking the Rams?
Yeah.
And you're taking the Rams? I'll go ahead. I'll take the Rams as well.
I mean, they've just been going all out, even before season, they've gone all in all year, I feel like, for trying to get to the Super Bowl. Odell, the Von Miller trade, the Matt Stafford trade early on in the year, they've just been, it feels like going all in, pushing all their chips. So I don't know what's going on with them if they're just.
And plus, they're going to be hosting the Super Bowl.
Oh, this year?
Yes.
Oh, they're not going to make it then. No one ever has. Tampa Bay did last year. That was the first.
But that
took the GOAT to be able to do it.
Yeah, that's crazy that he was able to do that against whose team? Who's?
Okay, man. Don't worry about it.
Hey. All right. Well, let's give a quick shout out and thank you to our following sponsors, and then we will introduce the game of the week.
We all have bad luck sometimes, but accidents don't have to be a disaster. Ernie Ruelas is exactly what you need. A dedicated and friendly State Farm agent. He's the best choice to help you manage the risk of everyday life and recover from the unexpected. Contact Ernie at 316-682-2300 or visit him at 11330 East Central Avenue in Wichita, Kansas. Let him put your financial worries to rest so you can realize your dreams.
All right, so this is it, the game of the week. We have the NFC West, representing the San Francisco 49ers, going to visit America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. So this is an interesting game because the 49ers displayed a phenomenal win against the Los Angeles Rams, their NFC West rival, and Dallas took care of Philadelphia in their last game of the season. This game's very interesting, especially the history of these two have had in playoff contentions. I mean, I still remember when I was a little child, I was a little guy. I remember watching the 94 when Jerry Rice and company beat Michael Irvin and Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith. It was kind of a close game, but Steve Young, that left arm, he was just torching Dallas. In the years before, I remember Dallas beating San Francisco. But so they've had their rivalries going on, and even in the 80s when the 49ers dominated. But this is interesting to see this kind of playoff happen again. So this is going to be in Dallas, and I'm going to start this off with you, Driston. All right, let's look at San Francisco side. So Jimmy Garoppolo has had his up and down moments. He has strided towards the end. There was times where he got pulled out, and then it's Trey Lance, right? Trey Lance started for him, but then he has come back. For the 49ers to win, if you're going to choose the 49ers, what do they need to do to beat Dallas?
That's tough. They need to get get more of the run game going, which is going to be difficult. I feel like because here's the thing. With Dallas, they have a good run defense and a good pass defense. They've been on all cylinders on that defense. They have players everywhere to stop both. And with DeMarcus Lawrence coming back late in the season for the Cowboys, he really showed up, and he's been a big help to that run game. So I feel like – but I think that focusing more on the run would be better suited for them to come out and with the win, because given the Cowboys average like 30 points a game this year. They score so many points, and I feel like it's going to be hard to stop that offense. So I think the Niners, they need to focus on chewing the clock, avoid giving the ball to that offense, and put some points on the board. The more time that they can get and away from the Cowboys and Dak Prescott's hands, I feel like is better suited for them. I mean, despite that, I think it's going to be a close game, maybe a field goal or a touchdown. But I'm going with the Cowboys on this one. They've been phenomenal, and their defense is really seals it for me, because that offense is already great with all their receivers, and Zeke's been picking it up towards the end of the season. I know we've been complaining about him in the year, but he's been picking it up, and they have a great offense and a phenomenal defense. So I think it'll be close, but I'm going with the Cowboys on this one.
Yeah, it's a tough one because, like Carlos was saying, they've got a long history of back and forth, and kind of each one taking its own time. Now, one thing that the Niners do have is they have a little experience in this playoff thing. I mean, Garoppolo has been to a Super Bowl, and Shanahan is an excellent coach. He's coached lots of playoff games, both as a head coach and then as a coordinator before. So, they're going to go in there with some knowledge, and this is this is Dak's first go, right?
He's
2 years ago, was it?
Yeah, he was in the playoffs before. They beat the Seahawks, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
They beat them, and then they lost to the Rams.
I never remember the Dallas wins. They just straight out the head. But the just for fun, I'm gonna say it's the Niners. Debo Samuel is. I mean, just give him the ball every play, and one way or another, throw it to him or hand it to him or run a reverse to him and let him just go.
Yeah, shout out to Debo. I feel like he's really kept that offense alive this season, man.
He seems to be there. Well, and I mean, you got Kittle. And I mean, a strong receiving tight end is really, and Ayek's been playing better lately too. The wide receiver, their main wide receiver there, he's finally starting to make some hay. So I think it's going to be a little surprise, and I think the Niners, they've kind of been surprising me a lot this year. Every time I've kind of counted them out, they pulled that crazy win out of their butt. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Niners.
And let's do a quick shout in the back. Eric, who are you taking and why?
I'm taking the 49ers.
Oh,
That was pretty cut dry. Okay. All right. So let's look
see,
at it.
I was just hoping that they could play a never-ending game for, and no one ever win from those two.
So let's look at it both sides of the world here. So let's start off with the 49ers. You said it yourself. Deebo Samuel has been the heart of the team. The guy is reliable, and he is a presence to be respected. He's an elite wide receiver, and also his counterpart, George Kittle. George Kittle, every time George Kittle's on that field, I mean, he's up there. He's with the Travis Kelce's. Yeah. He's with the Gronks. Gronk is up there. He's up there. It's just that Kittle's up there with I'd say
one of the top tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is that my concern for the 49ers is we just got to make sure that Jimmy Garoppolo does not make mistakes. And he's known to do that. And during that run that he had in the playoffs going to the Super Bowl, he played his cards right. I mean, they beat Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
They had convincing wins going in, but then when they lost to Kansas City, he lost that touch. But I still blame him and Kyle Shanahan for trying to to make things happen, too late, a little too much, too late. So for them to win this game against Dallas, they have to protect Garoppolo from Parsons. They got to make sure they're covering there, and then don't forget Diggs.
Yeah.
So because Diggs is going to have his hands full, we're going to figure out who. I feel that Diggs is probably going to cover Debo. And then we also making sure that on the secondary, they're going to keep an eye. You're going to have your quarterback spy. And then you're going to have someone just making sure that George Kittle, watch the routes he's at, keep people at bay there. So whatever the run game is happening, keep that going. But now let's look on the Dallas side. So on the Dallas side, Dak has to step up. And I'm not saying he hasn't, but what I'm saying now, this is the time to shine. Prove to everyone why you deserve that money. I know, I get it statistically. He's doing this, he's doing that. That could be a debate, especially with these Dallas fans. They'll tell you why and whatever. But here's the deal. The real deal is this is your time to shine. Zeke, come on, guy. Let's do this now. Let's do this.
I don't know if Zeke's the one to call on.
But Pollard has stepped up when they need him.
Pollard might be the one to step up.
But the both of them need to.
Yeah.
I mean, they both needs to.
Well, playoffs is when you need your stars to shine. So, that's why you're paying them millions of dollars to get to the playoffs, but also to win in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And so now that that's being said, when I'm looking at both of these games and see, I've been thinking about this all day. It's been back and forth. When I'm at work, I was thinking, okay, I'm going to choose this team. And then I just keep thinking. So the moment has come. I have to choose. It's time. So my heart was going for the 49ers, but for some reason, I feel with Parsons going to disrupt Garoppolo, they're going to have to play emergency football. I feel Dallas is going to squeak by and win. Yes, I'm going to call it. I know we got the head shaking. I mean, this guy, he's got his head turning. They're going to probably edit at me. I think so. I don't know. I don't know yet. But I think Dallas is going to win this game.
It'll be like, I chose 49ers.
I chose that 49ers. So I know, shout out to my good friend. We got Patrick, Marie, and Willie. They're big 49er fans. I know they're probably going to ignore me for a couple days because I chose Dallas. But here's the thing. At the end, I just feel Dallas has the right momentum going in, which is not bad. Because they took care of Philly not bad at all. Mm-hmm. Now, with the 49ers, it was a tug of war against the Rams. And yes, even though the Rams has the elite defense, this is whose defense do you feel is better in the front for, the Rams or the Cowboys?
Cowboys. Simply because DeMarcus Lawrence is just such a big, part of that. And, even they put Micah Parsons anywhere, he'll be on the line some of those snaps too.
Isn't Nick Bosa on the Niners?
Yeah, he is.
It's a pretty strong line.
Well, and don't they? Let me think about this. Don't they also have?
But the Dallas does have an amazing offensive line.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know that the Niners have quite the offensive line that Dallas to like if you're putting line against line, I think that Dallas's defense probably beats the offense of Niners
Yeah.
over the other other way.
I do agree with that. Yes.
But Kyle Shanahan is a mad scientist when it comes to scheme and stuff, so he can get him thinking one way and hit him the other way. So
This is just going to be very interesting games because right now we have Green Bay observing on the NFC side, and we have the Tennessee Titans observing from the AFC. So before we head out, with all the picks that we have, who you feel on the AFC side? I know you got the Chiefs, we got the Bengals, and the Bills. Matching it all up, who do you feel will give Tennessee the better chance
To win or to lose?
to win?
Okay, to win.
like, who does Tennessee want to see?
Mm-hmm.
Probably the Raiders.
Yeah, they want to see the Raiders because that's just.
But we didn't choose the Raiders
Oh, you're
out of
saying
who we
out,
picked to
out,
win.
out of our
who we
picks.
picked to win?
because as I said, you had the Bengals, you had the Chiefs, we had the Bills. So if it's the Bills, so the Bengals,
They
the
would
Bengals
probably pick the Bengals.
Yeah.
But I don't,
they would
didn't
play the Bengals, wouldn't they, Chris?
Didn't
Anyway,
they beat the Bills pretty good earlier, or was it vice versa? They played earlier this year, and one of
the Titans beat the Bills.
yeah. So they might be like, hey, we know this.
But if I'm not mistaken, the seating wise, the Bills would play the Chiefs, and the Bengals would play the Titans
Yes.
because you're the 4, you're the 2,
Yeah.
and then the Bills would be the 3. I think it's going to come out that way. And
Top seeds winning.
now, and then if that's the case, Tennessee wins. If Tennessee would win, beat the Bengals, out of the Bills and Chiefs, who would you pick?
Bills and Chiefs. Probably the Chiefs. They both have. I mean, they're really kind of the same team almost. I mean, they're very similar. I feel like built a lot alike. So, but I think the Chiefs have just had a more consistent year, even though they started off a little rough.
Yeah.
For the second half of the year, they've been much more consistent, both defensively and offensively, and even more defensively, which I think is what we all know wins championships.
Oh, definitely Chiefs. It's no brainer. I mean, they did beat us at the beginning of the year, but they got us on a bad start of the season, man. So like I say, our defense, mainly because of our defense, they really stepped up, and they look like a top 5 defense. So.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, overall, the Titans, they're hoping to get Derrick Henry back.
Yeah,
That's-
if Derrick Henry gets.
If he comes back, they
Which
can
I-
use
it-
him in disguise
Uh-huh.
formations, and also if he feels pretty good and run, go for it. But AJ Brown has stepped up. They've got other weapons, especially their
I was
other backup
Yeah, I
running
was gonna
backs
say,
playing pretty well.
I
As
don't
well.
even know that they would like lean on him like they have in years past at this point because they're back. The backups. I mean, they've been winning games without him for
Mhm.
one, and a lot of that is attributed to the backup. And I mean, one of the reasons any running back does well is because the line is getting a good push, and it's still getting a good push, and most of the time is still protecting Tannehill. And most quarterbacks can look pretty dang good around a line that's holding everyone away.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Like you give someone 10 seconds to throw the ball untouched, and they can probably get it to an open guy.
I agree. Now, real quick on the NFC side, so we've picked the Rams, 49ers. So we got to take that in consideration. Cowboys and Buccaneers. If I was Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, who do you want? Who would you want?
I think Rodgers wants another shot at Brady, and he wants it sooner than the championship round. I do. I think. I don't know that
if the seeding is right, he would get Tampa
Does-
Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Unless if the 49ers win. If the 49ers beat Dallas, they would go to
And
Green Bay.
I think the 49ers winning is plausible. It's not out of the picture. So I think he'd rather see the 49ers because
I don't think he's one to want to get an easy get the easy.
Now he's 0-2 against the pack of the 49ers in playoffs.
I did not know that, but
Yeah,
that's a nice
the
statistic.
49ers have given him such a hard time. Remember, they went to the
Well,
Super
were they
Bowl. They
both
beat
in
yeah,
NFC
that year
they
they
beat-
went to the
game?
Super Bowl.
Mhm.
Was it when back when Harbaugh beat him in the
Mhm.
NFC Championship to go?
No, they beat the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, that year.
Mm-hmm. So okay, so you say Tampa Bay. You say Tampa Bay. You say 49ers.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, even if I feel like it's gonna be another the Green Bay makes it to the championship and loses again. That's what I see happening, man. So
Now let's say that the Chiefs do end up going to the Super Bowl. Who would you want them to? Who would you want to play? Now, don't tell me because they're the weakest team. Who would you like to see? Maybe because the simple fact it would be an interesting game against.
I would like to see the Rams. I think that because I
Ooh.
feel like the Rams are just I feel like they're second to the Green Bay and close to first. I feel like they could beat the Green Bay. The Rams have a good defense. Have a really good defense. I like to see how we can adapt to all those players, and then also how we could stop their offense with Odell and especially Cooper Kupp. See how our defense
That would be an
goes
interesting
against,
Super
goes
Bowl
against that
Yeah.
good matchup. I feel like it's in a matchup we haven't seen. So I would like to see that.
Who remembers? Was it 2-3 years ago? Remember, it was that year that the Rams went to the Super Bowl. I remember when you guys had that shootout because the Rams
in the regular
wore their
season?
alternative yellow and
We wore our all red.
blue. Yeah, you wore all red.
Yeah, that was
looked
a
like ketchup
great
and mustard.
game, bro.
That game looked like ketchup and mustard. I was getting hungry. I was like, just ketchup and mustard. It's just ketchup and mustard there. But okay, do you agree with him?
I'd like to see him play Green Bay. Get that State Farm.
This guy
Yeah,
does
State-
going-
State Farm Super Bowl.
one's a current employee, the other one is not a current employee.
But yeah, I think it'd be really great to see Rodgers and
See Super
Mahomes
Bowl
battle.
one
Yeah.
everybody's
Well,
about what is.
I wouldn't necessarily have said that if the meeting earlier this year Rodgers had
Had
played
Rodgers.
in, and also now that the defense is, because that game was really the first game that kind of kicked off the. Well, no, they won the week before, I think, and then everyone expected them to win that one because Jordan Love was starting. And, But I think that's right when the defense was starting to come into shape. So for the Chiefs, and so because that was a pretty close game. It was like 17-15 or something, wasn't it? It was.
No,
I think we held them to like 9 points.
It was
like
okay.
3 field goals. So it was like 17-9? Or was that the
17-9.
Cowboys game? Something like that.
But it wasn't. Yeah, but the defense was playing well. But of course they were playing against the backup, not against Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers would be a different story because I tell you, Jordan Love, those throws.
Yeah. Well, Devontae Parker might think the same.
Yeah.
I mean Adams. Sorry,
Devontae Adams.
I
He was
thinking-
getting frustrated. He was like, "Oh, where's Aaron?"
It's just like so many
I
throws
know.
behind his back, too high, out of bounds. Like, he gave him no chance.
So on the next
So
episode,
that's why I think
yeah,
that would.
real quick on the next episode, we will, after these games are done, we conclude. We will get into the divisional round. So stay tuned, everybody, because this is a Sportsfellas NFL Playoff Edition. Now, really quick before we go, yes, I got to do it. It's been, they kept telling me, and I keep forgetting, but okay. Yes, again, like I said, congratulations to the Georgia Bulldogs. You guys did it.
Gotta say it with
Congratulations.
enthusiasm, man. Come on.
Great job, Dog Pound. Good job. But look, here's the
Good
thing.
boy,
Here's the
good
thing.
boy.
Here's the thing. You got to hand it to them. They played with heart, like I said. Alabama, where we were losing players left and right with injury, and Bryce Young, he's the Heisman winner. This is one of the things he could have rise to the occasion, but you could tell that something was going on, and it's just Georgia was able to get out of their funk and be able to do it. So congratulations to Georgia. And also, what's going to happen is going forward for Sports Fellas, we're going to start getting into college basketball and professional. We're going to touch up a little bit of that, and then we will have special editions on the World Cup that's coming this year. So we will talk a little about the World Cup, and then we'll figure out what's going on in baseball. But in the meantime, before we go, also want to say like, subscribe on our YouTube page. We are on Spotify, YouTube, iTunes. So follow us. We're getting more content out. We will have new episodes of the Cutting Crew. It's coming back finally.
Yes.
So I look forward to that. I know Tristan's looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
And also we will have Vice over Cosmos. We're going to do our movie giveaways. Now, a quick note on that. Morbius got pushed back it's not coming out this month. It's going to come out
that's
in
true.
April. So that Morbius, we'll do that giveaway in April. So we're going to figure out what we're going to do for the next giveaway. So on my end, I want to say thank you to the friends and family. Shout out to everybody. You know, that's a long list of names, so I'm just going to cut it short. Thank you for being supportive.
Yeah, just thanks to all the listeners out there, and thanks to the family and friends, and especially the crew and guys behind the scenes putting everything on wax.
Yeah, thank you for having me on the show once again, and shout out to everybody that has teams in the playoffs. It's an honor to be here. Sorry, Carlos, you'll get them next time.
On my Madden game, I will. Easy mode.
Yeah.
I'll be in the Super Bowl. I'll start cheating. All right, you guys. Thanks a lot, and we look forward to hearing from you guys in the next episode.